Hey guys, what is going on? Matt O'Leary back with another video. Today I want to get into the New York Jets and their draft process that was put on display in the latest episode of Flight, I believe it's being called, or One Jets Drive. I don't know. I can't keep track. They change the name every other year, but the Jets documentary series that they put on, an absolutely phenomenal program, by the way. The New York Jets do a absolutely stellar job producing this content. I got a chance to watch it earlier today, was live on Talkin' Jets when the episode came out, so I had to wait until earlier today to watch, and I came away with a few, I think, relatively big takeaways from this. This past episode gave a really good inside look at the process the New York Jets were going through in the NFL draft, specifically with their first two picks. They didn't get into day 3, but it was a look at the first 2 days of the NFL draft where the Jets came away with, in the first round, Olu Fashanu, and in the second round, or really third round, top of the third round, they trade up for Malachi Corley. So we'll start at the top. I think it was a relatively chalk start, which the Jets put on display when they were talking about all the picks that were coming in. Joe Douglas was not surprised pretty much until the Atlanta Falcons pick. It was obvious that he was trying to call and move up with Atlanta, and they said no, they were sticking, and he assumed, like me and many others, that they were going to go with a defensive player. Dallas Turner was the name that was brought up in the New York Jets, what do you want to call it? Green room, the whatever, draft room. There we go. In the draft room, among the scouts and everyone who's in that room there talking. And when it was Michael Penix, they seemed like it was a little bit of a surprise, but then knew that, okay, I picked number 9. Rome Odunze is going to come off the board to the Chicago Bears, and they had an opportunity to trade back with the Minnesota Vikings from pick 10 to pick number 11. As Joe Douglas himself says, they move back and get more ammunition to then move up. Robert Saleh called it free money. And that's exactly what it was for the New York Jets, because they were, once it became clear that they were unable to trade up, Olu was the guy that they were honing in on, and they view him as someone who could be a left tackle for long term, and the Jets don't have that right now on the roster, or before the NFL draft, they did not have that on the roster because Tyron Smith, on a 1-year deal at 33 years old, is not your long-term fix. You have Morgan Moses on the right side at 33 and on an expiring contract. Those are Band-Aid fixes. Very, very good players. Very, very good football players. Excited for them in 2024, but did not have a long-term answer, and they needed more at the position, and they decide that Olu is someone that they can't pass up on. I'm really excited. They view him as a very good pass protector, as they should. In my opinion, the best pass protector from this past draft class was Olu Fashanu, and I think he's going to catch on rather quickly in the NFL.
Olu's been on our radar since he started last year, since he became a full-time star last year. Really, he played in a bowl game 3 years ago where he started, and you're watching tape on some other guys. Who's this young left tackle?
Now, the second part of this was very anxiety-inducing if you were watching. We knew that they were going to end up trading up to the top of the third round for Malachi Corley, but even just watching the process play out, in the early 40s is when you start to see Joe Douglas start to get a little bit antsy, and he began making calls at pick 45. Washington was a team that he tried to trade with. There were many other examples throughout the NFL draft in the second round where teams did not want to move back that far to 72. And the two guys that they were honing in on were Malachi Corley and Roman Wilson. They very clearly had Malachi Corley 1, and then Roman Wilson after that. You saw Joe Douglas was pumped up after the Indianapolis Colts took A.D. Mitchell. Some are reading into that being like, oh, he didn't like A.D. Mitchell. Maybe that's the case, but I think he was kind of just more excited that it wasn't Malachi Corley or Roman Wilson at the position that they were targeting. But the Jets leaked it that Malachi Corley was their number 4 wide receiver in this draft class, which, again, I expressed I didn't really love that the Jets went that route. I wish sometimes they would just keep these things to themselves. You don't necessarily have to come out and do the good press tour, but They like to do that. And I don't know if I had to rank, I don't think Malachi Corley would have come in as my number 4 receiver. I am excited about him, right? Like, it is a little telling that he's your 4th receiver and he doesn't come off the board till pick 65, top of the 3rd round, but still really good player. Excited to watch him with the ball in his hands. The entire Jets staff is just like, please just continue to run angry. That's what we want you to do. And that's what he is going to do. Aaron Rodgers is going to get the ball in his hands. And this feels like an Aaron Rodgers very influenced pick. And it's been well documented around the league that these teams that have, top of the line quarterbacks, the GM and scouts are going through and coming up with their list. And then from there, they are giving the quarterback the list and going, all right, which guys do you like from this group? We don't know for sure if that's what happened with the New York Jets and Aaron Rodgers, but that's a safe bet, I would say. The Bills did it with Josh Allen, and he loved Keon Coleman. That's a name that, he brought up as someone that he really liked. And for the Jets, it's obvious to see why they like Malachi Corley. Again, just get him the ball in his hands. But for Rodgers, Malachi Corley is kind of like a souped-up, younger, prime version of Randall Cobb. And he had a lot of success with Randall Cobb. Malachi Corley's bigger. He breaks more tackles, but stylistically, kind of similar game from the slot. They were ecstatic, to put it lightly, that they were able to move up from Malachi Corley from 72 to 65. And again, I want to make this clear. I'm very excited about Malachi Corley. I think he could be a good player on this team. They loved it. They were so amped up about Malachi Corley, and I think he's going to be a fun player in this offense. So Joe Douglas and the New York Jets put on display a little bit for the public what it was like. And I wish I was be able to be a fly on that wall in the draft room, how exciting that would be. But I love the behind the scenes look that we got here. And it seemed obvious that they were very comfortable with Olu. And it makes sense. I think he's a really damn good football player, a top 10 player in this draft that they got at pick number 11. And then they liked, of the next crop of receivers, Malachi and Roman Wilson. So anyway, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Thank you so much for tuning in. Once again, I'm Matt O'Leary. Subscribe if you're new. Catch you guys next time.